Woo! I'm happy because Packers are 3-1. But welcome to the Extra Point Podcast presented by. Where is it? Counter.
Counter.
Yeah. Yep. Stupid. It's stupid. There you go. Got it. Yeah. Whatever. You get it. It's beautiful. I love water. Water's good. Don't you love when you're like super thirsty? You haven't, you're dehydrated and you just chug the entire cup or canteen.
Yes. As you're spilling all over yourself. Now you're about to choke on your own water.
I was attempting. It's like when what's the Office episode, the basketball episode, when Dwight is drinking through his mask and it goes down. It like chokes her. That's so great. I was really attempting to just kind of like fake chug it, but obviously didn't work out.
You went for a full sun that did not work out in your favor.
Yeah, I'm gonna water. Good. How was your weekend?
It's pretty good. Good. We had homecoming, saw a lot of guys, watched a decent amount of football this weekend.
Your team won?
Overall, huh?
Your team won.
Somehow, some way. Bill Lazor to the rescue.
Was that the one was that the one game I got back? The fact that you picked against them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's football.
The other games that we were to get early on from a recap of our games. So what we chose different was the Lions, Bears, Colts, Dolphins. I won that one. You won the Lions, Bears. I won the Cowboys, Panthers. But then you won the football team, Falcons, and you also won the Ravens, Broncos.
You weren't far off with that Washington game. Wow. I mean, Atlanta looked like the better team for most. Of course, I didn't start Cordero Patterson in fantasy. Hey, we should start doing this. Look at Cordero Patterson's resume. He's barely 30 years old. I don't know how far he is into 30, but he could be a Hall of Famer. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a 7-time All-Pro special teamer. He's a 4-time Pro Bowl, whatever. And all pros are much more important than the Pro Bowl. I'm just saying. I know it's he's not Devin Hester. He's had some great returns.
30 years old right now too. He's yeah. I mean, he's still got a few years left.
I think that's a really two special teamers. I think people forget about. Obviously, Cordero Patterson. People don't forget about him, because he's a great special teams dude because he's a returner. Matthew Slater on the New England Patriots is an 8-time Pro Bowler, and I believe he's a 3-time champion. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Special teams is part of football, and if he's been an elite special teamer for his entire career, just someone I think people forget about. It's amazing how you're an 8-time Pro Bowler on special teams. Usually it's a defensive position, offensive position. I haven't seen the special teams player like Matthew Slater actually with that resume. In terms of not a returner or anything like that, just, gets down there, whether he's a gunner or whatever he does, man, he does it so well. So, yeah.
Just to put this out there, but another returner that's in the league right now, gotta give a little shout out to Bemidji State right here. Gunnar Olszewski was a Bemidji State guy.
Oh, yeah. Was he a
little bit?
Was he a Pro Bowler last year?
I don't know 100%, but I wouldn't be shocked if he was. But hey, talk about a little bit smaller schools that people don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
That's one prime example right there.
It is.
Bemidji State, they got a good program. A lot of smaller D1 to D2 programs. They got a lot of good talent.
Deontay Harris from New Orleans went to, oh my gosh, I don't want to look this up. That's cheating, but I'm going to look it up anyway. He went to, I think Deontay Harris, he went to Division, I'm going to kick myself for not remembering this. It's a small school. Where did he go? No, I don't want to look at the New Orleans Saints page. Oh, maybe I do. This is taking way too long. Assumption College of all places. You find these guys, remember Danny Woodhead? Danny Woodhead went to Shatron State. Where the heck is Shatron State? It sounds like shit Ron State. Like it doesn't even, I've never heard of that before until Danny Woodhead, until John Gruden actually. John Gruden last year was giving a speech to his team in the team meeting room about like blocking. Like it was like the whole knock on wood thing. And he talked about how Danny Woodhead learned how to block at Shatron State of all places. So that's football. You find these guys in the most random places. Some guys like Dominic Daphne on the Packers, who's currently on short-term IR right now. He was a bouncer at a club in Dubuque, Iowa. Obviously, you know that, close to home.
That is
Travis.
home.
Travis was the person that was thrown out of the club. I don't know. But like seriously, you find these guys. I mean, bouncer at a club in a college town, and then you're a fullback in the NFL.
A lot of these places that a lot of people don't realize. I mean, they can produce some good talent. That I mean, it's shocking to a lot of people because you're so used to hearing Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, Texas. I mean, once you get these smaller school names, I mean, they pop up just as well. I mean, Adam Thielen.
Yeah, Minnesota State or something.
Minnesota State, yeah. And he was undrafted, just coming out of nowhere. I mean, there's a lot of names that come out of nowhere, and you're just like, where is this place? But
the Patriots drafted, I think, Kyle Duggar, their starting safety out of Division II school. I can't remember the school, but it's like, if Bill Belichick, you don't see a lot of Division II players drafted, but like when Bill Belichick sees someone, it's like, hey man, he knows. And a lot of guys, whether it's Division II or Canada, or you see guys in London coming over to play like in the preseason, at least trying to make a name for themselves. Guys anywhere in the world, guys at any level, at any school, whatever, it's unbelievable. Like I mean, even I know Jordy Nelson went to Kansas State, but like, guys from all walks of life. Like Jordy Nelson's like a farm kid. He's from he's from Kansas. He lives on a farm, literally. I know Aaron Rodgers has been out there many times, but he's a farm guy. Like that's where he's from. Other guys are from, like Najee Harris is from the Bay Area. Like different walks, different parts of the country. They can still play. It doesn't matter where they're from. They can still ball.
Exactly. So
should we jump in?
Let's get into a little review of Week 4. That was
so. Look, I don't really want to go into the Bengals Jaguars. It was two rebuilding teams or whatever. Bengals are 3-1. Good for them. I want to talk about.
Talk about a little bit of little Coach Urban right there.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I wanted to get into that. So I've seen a lot of memes, which I think are kind of funny. There was one, I saw one today. It was like, when Dwight pushes Phyllis out of the car and makes like, it's the episode where it's the weight loss episode. And he pushes Phyllis out of the car and then just leaves her, and she has to walk all the way back to the office. No. Well, maybe it is that, but it's also him causing Stanley's heart attack. And so he has to apologize. Corporate's supposed to make him apologize. And so he gets up and he says, "State my regret." And he like wrote it down on a piece of paper. And I saw that, and people are like, "Oh, that's Urban Meyer." Definitely an interesting situation. Like it's he said that number one, he didn't go on the team flight back home. That was number one, which you never see that happen. I mean, like he said he was visiting his grandkids. They went out to dinner. These people wanted him to dance, with him. And that was weird.
The thing about it is go back. You're the head coach. Go back to Jacksonville. Then you can take your flight out because it was a Thursday night game. So you have the extra day or possibly two, more than likely just a day, just to like go see your family and then come back.
Yeah,
go see your family for the day and then come back and then do your job. But he decided to just stay there, go see his family, and then all this just happened.
And then one thing led to another.
Yeah, one thing led to another where it was just like, oh my Lord, what decisions are we making? Dude, his players laughed him out of the meeting room today.
Yeah.
It was like, what are we doing?
I want him to succeed because root for Ohio State, and I think he's definitely a good dude, and he's a winner. He was proven in college anyway. Um, just weird,
I
like how
think
he gets in it. How does he get like some random, way too young for him? Well, I'm getting off track here, but like, it's just weird. Like this is. I talked about this with my dad. It's like, remember the Robert Kraft, Orchids of Asia Day spa thing before the Super Bowl in Florida
yeah.
or whatever. That, like, people are saying, oh, what's the big deal? Whatever, he's doing his thing, whatever. When you're the owner of an NFL team like Robert Kraft, a successful team, I might add, or Urban Meyer, still an NFL head coach, one of 32 very rare positions open. You just got to be better. Like, you have to hold yourself to a higher standard. If you're trying to change the culture around the organization, something like this happens. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Like, you're married, number one. I shouldn't even have to get into that. And it's just, where was his hand? I don't know. It was just, I'm looking at all these memes. It's just the weirdest. I don't know why. I'm laughing about this more than the fact that I'm like I'm not angry. Like, no one is angry. It's just they're kind of shocked at this because I know Urban Meyer is a pretty good guy. He's had a couple health scares, that kind of stuff. But it's just like, he was in a position he should not have been
Here's
in.
the thing, though. How long does he last with Jacksonville?
Well, now the leash is shorter because I think Shad Khan, the owner, said like he has to regain the trust of the players and everyone who associates themselves with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So if they go 0-16 or 0-17, he's gone. I mean, it doesn't, like, usually if you go 0-17, nothing bad happens off the field. It's like, okay, yeah, well, let's figure this out the second year, and that's, you get another year. After this incident, no way. This is, he's got to win at least 2 or 3 games. I think so. I mean, after what happened, like, he lost, poor judgment on his part, obviously, and I don't. I'm laughing at all this. It's not great. It's just not great.
Listening to Michael Lombardi on Pat's show today,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he said it straight up. It's more of a money situation at this point, because
Mm-hmm.
if it wasn't the money situation where he's into this 5-year contract within his first 4 weeks of his contract, technically. I mean, if it wasn't for the money situation, he'd probably be gone right about now. So
Yeah.
he should be thankful that he still has his job. So he's definitely going to have to try and figure out some way or another to try and regain the trust of the organization and build up his reputation again, because I don't know how much longer this guy is going to last.
This is, and it's like, everyone who knows college, like, Urban Meyer's never done anything bad in his life. He's a good coach. He's like the of college football coaches. He's like the, I don't know, Aaron Rodgers to Tom Brady, like to Nick Saban, whatever. Like, Urban Meyer's a fantastic coach. Won a lot of different places. Everyone in college, loved him. I don't know. Like, I hate to say, I don't know if I'm gonna say it. Don't know if I 100%. I don't know if I 100% believe it. Everyone makes mistakes. I know he's an NFL coach. Again, I'm totally kind of flipping my point here from what I just said, but like, it was a bad mistake. It was a dumb mistake. He was in a place he should not have been in. He should have just, like, not even the fact that he didn't go home on the team flight, but just like, I don't see an issue if he just goes to a family dinner. Like that's not a big deal if nothing happens. Obviously, I both know that. But it's just like, you cannot be in that position. You're 0-4, and people are just looking for some pictures. Oh, let's dance. I don't know. I don't know what
that situation
happens. I don't know. It's. Let's just move on. Should we? Yeah, whatever. Bengals are 3-1. Good for them. Whatever. Bills, Texans, don't need to go much into this one. Bills are certainly back on top from Pittsburgh. Week 1. Week 1 was a big anomaly. I think we've been talking about that. 40-0. Enough said. Lions, Bears. I'll start, then you finish. I thought I would see more fight from the Lions. We saw it the first 3 games. They got into the red zone. a lot of trips and could not cash in because the Bears defense is obviously a strength. We know that regardless of how bad the offense is there, the defense is it has consistently been a top 10 for much of the last decade. I mean, for much of their history, they've been a very good defense. We know that. So they were very strong in the red zone. Jared Goff, just whenever Jared Goff goes to Chicago, shit happens. So they're depleted at receiver. MCDC still trying to find his way. This was Justin Fields looked better. He looked better. I know there was an interception, but him and Darnell Mooney have something clicking. Again, Darnell Mooney breakout season. But Justin Fields looked better, especially handing over the play calling to Bill Lazor. Again, I said it wasn't going to be a get. They just needed to win. It's not. I wouldn't even call this a get right win because next week they play Vegas. I wouldn't call it for teams like Packers, Buccaneers, Chiefs, teams who lose and then play a crappy team next. That's a get right game. Like Packers, Lions week 2, that was a get right game for the Bears. They just needed to win. They had a much better week.
I would 100% agree with that. First off, when I made my pick and when I picked the Lions, I did not know that Nagy was going to be handing over the play calls to Bill Lazor.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that was a huge adjustment that needed to happen. Justin Fields got more protection. He got more comfortable. They started calling the play calls downfield when they had more protection to allow Fields to throw the ball. The run
his arm is crazy.
His arm is absolutely nuts.
Rocket. Yeah.
But the big thing is the run game. I mean, they rushed 40 times and I don't how many yards was it? I mean,
look at the stats.
Montgomery finished with 106. Damian Williams finished with 55. Mooney got 10 yards. Fields got 9. Khalil Herbert got 7 off 3 attempts. I mean, the Bears. I mean, if they can get to that almost Minnesota outside zone run to pass concept, I think that might be their new identity, and that's what Bill Lazor was basically doing last week, and that's going to be huge for Fields. Then you can spread it out more once you get a little bit better line protection for Fields.
Oh yeah.
And then everything starts rolling. But as of right now, I mean, this is a huge adjustment that the Bears made, and I'm so happy that it happened. The Bears are probably going to be missing Montgomery for about a month, is what the
3 to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's avoiding the ACL tear. That's big, though. At least he avoided the ACL tear.
That is huge. And the nice part is that Damian Williams only has a bruised quad, I think it was.
Super Bowl MVP. Should have been Super Bowl MVP. Well, I mean, people don't Mahomes got it because he's Mahomes and the Wasp playing the Super Bowl. Damian Williams should have been the Super Bowl MVP, but
yeah, I mean, he also had 8 attempts for 55 yards.
Yeah,
he was
incredible.
I mean, you don't get too much better than that.
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't even have the best part about it was that he didn't have one rush that was just over exuberant. His long was 23 yards, which I mean it's almost half, but it's not even halfway to the full 55 they actually had. So that says something about how much the Bears offensive line can get going, and with that extra protection, I mean, they can really build off it. They can get the run, then they can get the play action, get Justin Fields out of the pocket. Also, if Nagy goes back to Dalton when Dalton's actually fully healthy, that's going to be a huge step back for the Bears.
Yeah.
So.
I would say, well, number one, actually, now that I hear you talk about the game, I think not a get right game, but a confidence boosting game. I think certainly with the way they were running the ball. And you're right, because the rapport is going to be messed up. Dalton's gone. I mean, I think My guess is what they're trying to do against some of these easy teams they're playing is get Fields going a little bit, get him, acclimated to NFL, the NFL game. But against the Raiders, I don't know. Without your starting running back, it's an odd predicament because
I like Khalil Herbert too. I do like Khalil Herbert.
I'm wondering. I mean, you want to put Fields out there against the Raiders, regardless.
100%. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If you don't, that's gonna be such a. It's gonna be like going and trying to face the Browns all over again.
Yeah.
For him in his next start,
Mm-hmm.
It'll just be a clusterfuck for his mind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, just to put it nicely, I mean that's literally what it'll do for him.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's all about it's about the bumps, quite honestly, at any level when you're playing football. Like you get called, if you're a cornerback, get called for pass interference. It's how you learn. It is how you learn. You make mistakes. The Browns wasn't Fields' fault. Offensive line was terrible. Play calling was terrible. Nagy, O-line coach, whatever, got to learn from that. Fields obviously, does not, he's not completely abstained from that. But, he's a smart guy. Saw him at Ohio State play. Very great competitor, great player. He'll learn from that. Like, it's all about learning. It's all about, how the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl last year. They almost didn't make the playoffs. I mean, no disrespect, but they lost to the Bears. Like, they had to find their way. Brady and they had to learn how to gel together. The defense was elite, obviously, but you got to learn. Yeah. You saw Aaron Rodgers, the first year with LaFleur, 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. People were saying it was a down year, which it was, obviously, but it's like, that's a down year for Aaron Rodgers. Look what he did last year. And obviously, he's doing the same old stuff this year. So there's a learning curve for every position in the game. And it's got to be in the right hands, though. And I think, at least in Bill Lazor's hands, at least this game, it was certainly in the right hands for the play calling and Bears, confidence building win nonetheless, for sure.
Yeah.
What's next? We just did Bears line. Colts Dolphins. I did not catch most of this game. Did you catch any of it? I saw the Colts, again.
I caught a little bit of it.
Let's just not talk about it because I clearly don't know.
The Dolphins didn't look good. I mean, that's what it came down to. Wentz didn't have to do too much.
Their best game. It was their best game of the year.
Jonathan Taylor's a beast. And he proved it in this game. 16 attempts for 103 yards. Yeah. With a touchdown. And then he also got 3 receptions, only got 11 yards off his receptions. But Michael Pittman, 6 of 8 for 59 yards. I mean, that was the highest total for reception yards. But I mean, the Colts didn't have to do too much in this game, so it didn't come down to whether or not 2 sprains was going to actually fully have to take over. It was just more or less the Dolphins did not look too good. So
they're like a younger Steelers team. I think they're a bit of a mess. I don't know who the quarterback is. I don't know they're not. I don't know. They're a 9-8 team, 8-9 team. They might beat you one game. They might go off. I'm not worried about the Miami Dolphins. I know Brian Flores. You're seeing with Mike Tomlin, there are some great coaches. You can be a great coach and your team can still suck. That's what I see from Miami right now. I haven't seen enough from Tua to believe that he's the guy. Obviously, we've talked about that. But Carson Wentz, I mean, it was his best game, 24 of 32, 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, just very solid. And like you said, rushing attack was very good. And this was a get-right game for the Colts. They needed that. And, look, that division's still wide open. I mean, after the Titans lost to the Jets, which we'll get to, anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. That's what's so great about sports. But, Eagles, Chiefs. Chiefs can put up 42 points. Chiefs can put up 42 points. Mahomes, great. This was I didn't see why before I was looking at this game. I didn't see why this like people thought this was going to be like a 30-20 game, like kind of close. And I didn't really understand why people thought that until I watched the game. It's like, wow, this Chiefs defense is not very good. I mean,
No.
this is the NFC equivalent of the Green Bay Packers. Great offense, bend but don't break defense. And this is what's going to hurt them down the run when they play a team like the Buffalo Bills. And we're going to see that on Sunday night, which is going to be beautiful. But look, okay, Patrick Mahomes, 5 tuds, rate. Tyreek Hill, 11 catches, 186 yards, 3 touchdowns, rate. I have to see it from the defense, though. This is the Philadelphia Eagles, rebuilding team. I don't care. To give up 30 points to a team that got housed by the Dallas Cowboys last week, I don't know. If the Chiefs want to be back there for a third consecutive year, it's got to be better. I don't know. I'm not a defensive coordinator. I don't know. I don't know all the. I don't know how everything works sometimes. Like plays or tendencies, stuff like that. I don't know sometimes. Got to be better though. And again, I feel weird saying that because I'm not a coach. I'm not an analyst. We just have this podcast, but like. Watching the Chiefs in the Super Bowl run, they were better. They were better defensively. Tyrann Mathieu is they have good, Tyrann Mathieu is a great player. Chris Jones is a great player. They have a pass rush. Frank Clark is a very good pass rusher, when he's not having off the field problems. But they can get picked apart. If you block, they can get picked apart. We saw Herbert do that, obviously, last week or 2 weeks ago. Jalen Hurts did it on Sunday. That scares me. Scares me about this team. About the team.
I feel like the way to beat them is to shut down Tyreek.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that you can shut down the explosive plays that they do with Tyreek, with getting Mahomes out of the pocket, him scrambling and finding Tyreek about 50 yards downfield and just hucking it up there for him.
Yeah.
If you can cut those plays down, I mean, this game, might be even closer. That's essentially what it comes down to.
Yeah.
That Chiefs defense is not that good. You just got to keep Mahomes a little bit more contained. Mm-hmm. You got to keep Tyreek to a lot less yardage. You can give up the 8 to 10 yards to Kelsey every time, and then let them hand the ball off or do a little flip pass to Edwards-Helaire, but they're not as explosive as what Tyreek is. You
finish.
I was going to say, once he gets the ball in his hands, he is one of the most explosive players in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they are getting Josh Gordon. He was activated today. He'll be playing against the Bills, which is another weapon. Sometimes the greatest defense is a great offense. That's what the Chiefs' motto is. They have that, so you got to outscore them. But again, if you shut down Tyreek Hill, they got to go to Demarcus Robinson, Byron Pringle, Josh Gordon, Kelsey, which it's a tough ask. But it can be done. We've seen it before. We saw the Buccaneers do it, obviously, in the Super Bowl. So teams are going to follow that blueprint, and offenses are going to follow the blueprint of like what the Eagles did against the Chiefs, even though they lost. Putting up 30 points isn't too shabby. So Chiefs are probably going to be there in the end. They're probably going to be there in the end, but this is a weakness of theirs for sure. I think that's kind of my takeaway. I mean, that's how I see it. Browns Vikings, odd game because it was like 11-7. I'm waiting for the box score to load. It was 11-7 at halftime. I think the Browns may have gone. They went for 2. Then they kicked a field goal in the 4th. Ended up winning 14. I don't know, it was a weird game. The Vikings could not get anything going after the first quarter. I gotta check out these stats. Baker did not have a good game. 15 of 33 for 155 yards. He was sacked twice. Luckily, they have that ground attack. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt combined for 169 yards, a touchdown. I mean, Rashard Higgins was their leading receiver, 4 catches, 63 yards. The Vikings, on the other hand, like Kirk Cousins, mediocre, 203 yards, a touchdown, a pick. Dalvin Cook only had 34 rushing yards on 9 attempts. Alexander Madison had one more rush. I mean,
They went away from the run so fast
Mhm,
that I feel like that's what hurt them in the end. But at the
mhm.
same time, I mean, this game was not a fun game to watch.
Yeah. Mhm. I mean,
This game was just, I mean, it was just kind of almost a disappointment game of the week
yeah, I thought it
because
was gonna be a shootout.
exactly it turned into a lot of defense, but well, just not even defense. It was just a lot of poor play and a lot of poor play designs.
Yeah.
And the Vikings went away from their normal way of going about their offense.
Mhm,
And then the Browns, Baker just, even though he didn't have his best game, I mean, he still pulled away with the win.
mhm.
So
Do
I think the Browns, I feel like the Browns are going to be scary still, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see who they are.
Do you think they were saving Dalvin Cook? Like, you think they weren't pushing him as much as they could have?
I feel like they were scared after seeing what happened last weekend to the Bears
Yeah.
and
Good
him
defense.
just finally coming back. But at the same but at the same time, like he's your most explosive player, and I mean at the same time, Madison, Alexander Madison. I mean they didn't even use him at all either. That's the thing. He
Mhm.
only rushed for 10 attempts as well. So
Yeah.
truly, they rushed 19 times
Yeah.
compared to their normal like 30 to 40,
Mhm.
which is completely different from what they normally do. So they went way from their game plan 100%. And they finished a 7-point game.
Yeah.
In reality, it was a 4-point game for almost the entire second half.
Yeah.
So
I, I think they got so deep into their plan, like in the second half, like when they were down, like they had to score a touchdown, obviously take the lead or tie, whatever. And they just got so deep into the passing. Like they got so afraid of Miles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, they just said, okay, let's just start throwing it. Let's let Kirk Cousins rip it. And came back to bite them, couldn't get anything going. Browns have a talented defense, and you know, the best teams, even on their shittiest days, they pull away with the W. And look, if I'm Cleveland, I'm one of those people, like the players are gonna be pissed at their performance, even if they win. If I'm a Cleveland fan, I'm sitting here like, hell yeah, like we're 3-1. Like let's go. I could care less how they won. Like let's,
hey,
that's
a
how I felt.
win's a win.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So players and coaches are going to be mad at the performance. But hey, 3-1. That's their second consecutive 3-1 start. That's the first time they've had consecutive 3-1 starts since 3,000 years ago. Don't know exactly the correct stats, but Browns sitting at 3-1. Vikings off to a rough start, 1-3. I don't know if they'll be able to climb out of that hole. This is the second straight year the Vikings have had kind of a. They started off what? Did they start off 0-4 last year? 1-4 or 1-5 or something
Yeah.
like that. Then they kind of caught fire but couldn't really catch up. So Vikings have got to warm it back up here. Giants Saints. Saquon Barkley is back. We saw that. That's really the key in this game. Barkley had. Let me check up. I mean, he had obviously the game winning rushing touchdown in overtime. Receiving though, he had that one big receiving touchdown also in the second half. I don't know what the New Orleans Saints are at this point.
I don't think anybody does. I don't even think they do, to be honest.
Yeah, you beat the Pack. You crushed the Packers week 1. You play Carolina week 2 with not many, the COVID situation, not many coaches, staff members, they lose. And then who'd they play? Why am I forgetting this? Who'd they play the week before? This is embarrassing on my part. I should know this.
They play the Patriots.
Okay. They came to play against the Patriots. This game though, they just look. I mean, defensively, I thought that was their strong suit, but Daniel Jones was, relatively good, and Saquon Barkley was back. That's pretty much it. That's, the classic Michael Jordan, I'm back. Saquon Barkley announced that. Giants are still 1-3. I don't
think they're going to be too much of a threat.
Yeah. It's great. You won your first game, whatever, against a team that's mediocre. I think like they're hot and cold. That's whatever. So I'm happy for all the Giants fans out there. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Yeah,
that's just a tough situation. Saints are just too much of a hit or miss. I mean, I feel like their offense is doing basically what their offense has been doing. Mm-hmm. I think it's just going to come down to how consistent their defense is.
Mm-hmm. They are who we thought they were. Not really. That expression does not make sense there. But Panthers Cowboys. It wasn't. The score makes it look like it was a shootout. Cowboys had this one handled. Trayvon Diggs is a shutdown corner. I mean, what does he have? 5 picks to start the season or something ridiculous? Yeah. Dak Prescott did not. Let me check out the stats.
14 of 22 for 188 yards.
Yeah, and then 4 tuds. So he didn't have to That's kind of the sign where if the quarterback does not have to fill the stat sheet, for you to win. I think that was what I saw.
Zeke finished with 20 attempts for 143 yards and a tud.
Vintage
7.2 average. That was 7.2 yards per average.
He had his longest run since his rookie year, I think, of 43 yards or something too. It was, it was a great performance by him. Tony Pollard, 10 rushes for 67 yards. Dalton Schultz was their leading receiver, or he had 6 catches. Cooper 3 for 69. CeeDee Lamb only had 2. They didn't throw it that much. And they can't. That's a sign of a good. They wanted to run the ball. Carolina. I don't know how this. They went up against the best offense they've seen, and they got housed. So I don't know what to think of their defense now. Sam Darnold, if you're a fantasy, if he's on your fantasy team, good for you, but threw 2 picks without McCaffrey. That's kind of what I'm saying with the Cowboys. Great win by Dallas. You beat the 3-1 team. But at the same time, it's do it against the Chiefs. Do it in the postseason. Can the Dallas Cowboys beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the postseason? No. Can the Dallas Cowboys beat the Green Bay Packers in the postseason? No. Can the Dallas Cowboys beat the LA Rams or the Arizona Cardinals? Probably not. Especially not the Rams. Probably not the Arizona Cardinals. If they're at home, maybe. But they're going to be sitting with a great record in November, maybe December. Fine. They can win the division. Fine. I don't care. Good for them. You're finally, you're champions in the NFC East. Go up against someone great. Go up against a McVay. Can McCarthy – I love Mike McCarthy. I love him. Can he outcoach Sean McVay? Can he outcoach Bruce Arians? I don't know. Again, great win for the Cowboys. Let's wait till January if they get there.
Yeah. I feel like they can have a shootout with a lot of different teams, and their defense is going to hold up pretty well. It's just a matter of how consistent will that be? How well will Dak's proven that, he's being mobile and can run around and stuff, but how consistent is Zeke going to be? Mm-hmm. This might be an anomaly game for him with exploiting Carolina not as good rush defense, but definitely not terrible. But I feel like what they do is going to rely on how Zeke will be able to do.
I thought you were going to say something. I really wasn't drinking that much water. I thought you were going to say something. But whatever. No, you made a good point. What was the point? No, I think it just Dallas doesn't. I'm happy for Dallas fans, even though I think they're kind of annoying, but my opinion doesn't matter. Let's wait till January. I just want to see, because I don't. They should have beat Tampa week 1. I know that there was a push up. We know that. in January when Tampa Bay or Green Bay or LA is all ramped up, ready to go. They're in the zone. Can Dallas go up to Green Bay in January, a dome team, and win? No. We'll see. I mean, I will pray no. But hard to say. Good win, but I think it's a wait and see kind of thing. Defense is great though. Defense has certainly improved for sure. Washington at the ATL. I'm upset. Well, number one, I'm happy for Taylor Heineke. Definitely happy from dude's a baller. 23 of 33 for 290 yards, 3 tuds. I did not start Cordero Patterson in fantasy, and I am pissed. Not pissed, sad. I'm both. Because he could have won me my game. I was down 72 entering Monday Night Football, only lost by 14. So my team put up a great effort. But if I had started Cordero Patterson, I would have won. He had 5 catches for 82 yards and 3 touchdowns. Also ran the ball for 34 yards. He's a monster. Falcons, it would have been interesting to see the Falcons at 2-2, just because I think people are just missing them. They're in pretty much all of these games except for their first one against Philly. Matt Ryan, 25 of 42, 283 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Matty Ice is still Matty Ice. Not everyone is talking about him. He's a true pro. Just Washington, Taylor Heineke, the offense finally came alive. I think you're right about that Washington defense, though. Like, I'm waiting for them to step up big time. They just haven't. That pass rush, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for them to go nuts, and they haven't.
That defense they've slipped a lot, and it's going to be tough for them to try and get back into the rhythm of things. I feel like they can. They just have to have the right game plan and set for each of their different teams that they're going up against. I feel like they're almost like the Lions in the sense that they keep trying to do this one specific play, one specific coverage the entire game, and offenses can just exploit it throughout the rest of the game. And that's when you start getting in trouble. Matty Ice, he's definitely a proven quarterback in this league. He doesn't have as many of the weapons. Their defense is definitely what holds them back out of winning quite a few of these games. And I thought, man, they almost had it though. Atlanta almost had it.
I'm not. I feel bad for them. That's what I'll say. I feel bad, even though they almost beat Tom Brady. I don't want to hurt their feelings, but they almost beat Tom Brady. And now it's just all come crashing down. And you feel bad for Matt Ryan because I think Matt Ryan's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Maybe not he's a former MVP, he's a 5-time Pro Bowler. He's top 10 in a lot of categories. I just wish he had the Super Bowl. If he had the Super Bowl, I think he'd certainly be in the Hall of Fame. But I think because he doesn't, I think he's a notch above Cam Newton. Not just in looking at resumes. He has, I think, 1 more Pro Bowl than Cam Newton does. He's a much better passer. But he's missing that Super Bowl. I don't know if he just goes somewhere as a backup and wins the Super Bowl. I just think that's the key for him in a Hall of Fame resume.
At this point, yeah.
I love looking at resumes. I love looking at who's going where. But yeah, certainly. Hell, Matt Ryan, just go be a backup for 1 year in Tampa Bay or Green Bay, even better. Or just go win the Super Bowl and become a Hall of Famer, man. Because I think he's had a heck of a career. And I know I'm sure it stinks because he had the chance. Everyone wants to be the guy. Everyone wants a Super Bowl ring. But I'm sure even Blaine Gabbert in Tampa wants to be the guy and lead his team to a championship. I think maybe that time has passed for Matt Ryan, unfortunately. But just go somewhere else, go win a ring and become a Hall of Famer because I think that's what he is. What else? Titans, Jets. Okay. Really? Okay. I don't want to spend too much time talking about this because I'm going to go off on CBS for this. I do not care that this was an overtime game. I do not care about it. I don't know how you feel about this, but the national game, the first national game was Chiefs-Eagles. That game ended. They took us to Titans-Jets, all right? Unless you were in Green Bay or Pittsburgh, you had to watch the whole overtime, which I'm upset because that was not the regional game. That was the national game was Pittsburgh Green Bay. They should have gone to it. They didn't. What bothers me is they kept saying, "Oh, in moments we will take you to Green Bay for Packers Steelers." Nope, had to watch the whole overtime. Couple replays or a couple of plays they had to review, even though like nothing happened. Um, it's just like Packers are my team, and even on Pat McAfee, they were talking about it, like Ty Schmidt was going off about it too, tweeting about it. Like it was stupid. I was upset. Like this happened week 1 when the Packers were playing the Saints. That was different because Vikings Bengals was the regional game and everyone was watching it, and like they're not going to take you away from that game. They're going to wait till that game finishes. They should have bounced to Packers Steelers, and I missed the whole first quarter. Luckily, I got there just in time to see Big Ben throw a touchdown pass. Hurt my feelings, but it's okay. Packers ended up doing whatever. Anyway, though, Jets Titans, give the ball to Derrick Henry. AJ Brown, Julio Jones were not playing. Give the ball to King Henry. They didn't. Ryan Tannehill cannot show. Ryan Tannehill is not Tom Brady is not not that type of quarterback. Tannehill is not Mahomes, Wilson, Rodgers, Allen. He can't carry the team. It goes to Derrick Henry's shoulders. Give him the ball. They didn't. Kudos to the New York Jets. You suck, but it's your first win. Celebrate. Both New York teams win.
Yeah, that's basically what it comes down to. They did not give the ball to Derrick Henry at all. And that's what hurt him. I mean, Derrick Henry's just been explosive in the second half. So they barely gave him the ball in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And they barely gave him the ball in overtime. I mean, they tried to throw it, and then they got to 4th and short. Then they gave the ball to Derrick Henry, and then you go for like a 10-yard run. And it's just like, why are we not doing this all along?
Yeah.
So
football's weird. Why do people do these things? I don't know. I'm not in the building, but it looks like just give him the ball. Should have given him the ball. Proud of the Jets though. Proud of the New York Jets. Happy for Saleh. Like Saleh is probably. I did not like Adam Gase. Felt like he didn't care. Like I think there was that shot against the Patriots on Monday night. Was last year, 2 years ago. He was just sitting alone on the bench looking at his play sheet. Like he was lonely, and the Jets suck. Like Saleh is a guy like you see him running the stadium steps before every game. You know he's juiced for his defense. He loves his players. I mean, how can you not love that guy as a coach? And I'm pulling for him. Again, I'm hoping he does well because I'm certainly that kind of guy, and happy for him to get his first win, no doubt. Seahawks Niners. Seahawks needed this win. Everything was, sky was falling after being 1-2, and people were saying Russ is already out the door and Pete Carroll was going to get fired, all that kind of stuff. Russell Wilson took over, had an unbelievable spin move out of the pocket for touchdown pass. Just, he didn't even, I'm looking at his stats here. He didn't throw for a lot of yards. I'm trying, let me come on, show it to me. Yeah. He only threw for 149 yards. Like he was great, but it was a balanced running attack. I mean, Alex Collins ran 10 times for 44 yards, touchdown. Chris Carson 13 times for 30 yards. Russell Wilson 4 times for 26 yards. So they had over 100 yards rushing. I know some of it was Russell Wilson, but very balanced. And it's probably not probably. I think it is Trey Lance time.
They're talking about Garoppolo might be able to return this week.
Yeah.
Trey Lance definitely looks solid. He completed 50%, 9 of 18 for 157.
Yeah.
So he wasn't bad, but I feel like if they do a full game plan for Trey Lance throughout the week, he could definitely be impressive and show off what he's got. But if they try, it's kind of like a Justin Fields situation. If they try and go back to Garoppolo at this point, I mean, I wouldn't say it'd be too much of a mind case for him.
Yeah.
Because Garoppolo did start for most of that game. And it came down to injury, but Garoppolo can come back and play. Um, I don't know. That's just that's more of a weird situation.
Yeah.
I
I,
don't think they can. I don't think they can go too wrong with their
mm,
situation. But Trey
yeah.
Lance might be definitely the better quarterback for them.
Shanahan knows. Shanahan will figure it out. Like he's one of the smartest guys, and he'll figure it out. But how about Debo Samuel, the only receiver left who's on pace for 2,000 yards receiving? So it's a good player. I mean, they certainly have a lot of key pieces, good pieces on offense for sure. Um, just can't seem to get healthy with the running back position. But that NFC West is going to be a dogfight. Both teams are 2-2. Seahawks and Niners are 2-2. Rams lost to Arizona, obviously. What a great game we have on Thursday night, by the way. Rams at Seahawks, going to be a great game. Those primetime games in Seattle are always so entertaining. Going to be crazy to watch for them. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Ravens, Broncos. Okay. Ravens won. Lamar Jackson had a great, obviously deep ball to Marquise Hollywood Brown. Great win. Let's talk about though what happened after. Well, not after. 3 seconds before the final whistle. Ravens decide to go for the rushing record. 43 tie the 1974 through 1977 Steelers, whatever that for the most consecutive games with over 100 rushing yards. They tie them after getting 5 yards with 3 seconds left. Vic Fangio was quoted as saying it was bullshit or whatever that they did that, but he expects it from them. Harbaugh doesn't. He's like, yeah, that doesn't. I don't really care about that or whatever. What is your opinion on this? Do you believe? Like, do you think the Raven? Like, what is your what? What do you what are you thinking?
I mean, you can technically say that there's 3 seconds left in the game. You got to complete the game.
Yep.
You kind of have to know the situation that you're in. I mean, it's not really a stat that many people really look at, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, it's still a significant stat in NFL history.
Yep.
It just hasn't been brought up in a long time because it hasn't happened in a long
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the Ravens really aren't in fault for it. I mean, I don't mind it as much. I would you like to see a kneel down for player safety, yada yada yada. All right,
No.
whatever. No, but and if you're gonna go for my perspective, I'd do the same thing that John Harbaugh was doing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's you play until there's 0 seconds on the clock in the fourth quarter if one team's up or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean that's football. It's a
Yeah.
contact sport where hey, you gotta keep playing until that whistle blows and
Mm-hmm.
clock reads 0 all the way through.
Yeah.
So it's like it. I'll put it into perspective for other fans. I mean, you're down 7 in a baseball game. You're not just gonna throw balls and then try and just have the or other way around, just have the hitter just go up there and take 3 strikes. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna lay
Yeah.
down. I mean, you're gonna go until everything says final.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I think a couple things. I think Fangio's comments. Look, I think the Broncos are salty. I think they're mad that they lost first game against a good team. Finally, they played a good team and they lost. I think they're a little salty about that. Um, and Harbaugh said, like, this is a game. Like, I just want these guys to be. I want them to have this record. I think it's a cool thing. That's what he was saying, and I think that's what the Ravens are doing. Also, Lamar Jackson didn't run to the end zone. He went 5 yards and fell down in the field of play. They didn't take a 70-yard shot to the end zone. Went down, got the 5 yards, took a knee, and I'm sure Denver, I think Denver probably knew it was going to happen too. I think they had a hunch it was going to happen, or I think they were going to try and stop him from doing it. So I think Denver was salty after they were losing and they were about to lose, but also the fact that the Ravens also kind of got that in there at the end. I think that kind of pissed off Fangio and the Broncos a little bit. 3 seconds left. If there's time on the clock, get ready to play, man. You got to get ready to play. I think Denver's salty. I think that's really what it boils down to. I think they're pissed they lost, and that was little extra at the end there that kind of put them over the top. And I don't see an issue. I don't. I know Denver's pissed. Heck, if this had happened to like the Packers, I wouldn't care. Had they taken a shot at the end zone, yeah, I probably would have been a little upset. Like if it was a fake spike or something, yeah, or a fake kneel down, of course you'd be pissed. It was a run to the left or a run to the right, whatever. 5 yards, went down the field of play. And the Ravens are, records are meant to be broken. And again, they didn't try to, put up as many points as possible. It's yards, it's one rush. Just if you're that pissed, you should have beaten them. If you're that pissed, save it for the postseason. That's how I feel about it. So I'm kind of, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's just Ravens won this day and they wanted to keep that record going and they did. It's not like they got in Denver's face about it. It's not like they were talking shit to him when it happened. Took a knee after the 5 yards. Nothing big happened. All right. Packers. Should we go Packers or should we go Cardinals Rams? We'll go Packers Steelers.
I have no clue what the hell the Steelers are. Their defense is normally what gets some places. Big Ben is not former Big Ben.
Reminds me of Eli. Reminds me of Eli from his final year, kind of.
At this point, yeah. At this point, I feel like Dwayne Haskins might be the move. Put him in, see what they can do with him. TJ Watt's definitely not fully healthy. That should have been a block kick for a touchdown that would have changed momentum swings for both teams. I feel like that might have changed the game 100%.
Yes.
But at the same time, I mean, it's another situation where you still have to go out there and finish the series, finish the game, and the Steelers just couldn't do it. Once they got down big, they did not show true. I mean, they showed fight, but not like compared to what we've seen in the past.
Yes. So I think you're right. It was not offsides clearly. The issues for the Green Bay Packers are, it's really one thing, and it's defensively. The problem we saw it against the Lions. I think they played great against the Niners. I think they played a good game against the Steelers here. Big Ben missed Juju on a couple of throws. I think maybe he missed Deontay Johnson on some too. I don't know. He missed the throws. My problem with the Packers defense is that they kind of wait like for other teams to make the first move. And they always make a mistake. Or they don't always make a mistake, but there's always one or two plays where it's like, okay, well, if they connect on that pass, it's a touchdown. As a result, they don't connect. Packers end up winning, whatever. The offense missed some plays, but it was great to see Aaron Rodgers, kind of outrun TJ Watt to the end zone, give him a small belt. Randall Cobb, big time on third down. I think they've kind of found, Devontae Adams had 5 catches for 50 or 60 yards. Not his best game, but they found another guy in Randall Cobb to come up big on third downs. Of course, I played someone who had him in fantasy. Not naming names, but Uncle Pete, if you're out there, hate you. But I think they've found, they didn't have Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones, but they were somewhat balanced, on the ground. But it was one of those games where, like, after coming off a very big win in the Bay on Sunday night, avoid a letdown. They avoided a letdown, and it's great win. Jair Alexander, though, AC joint sprain. That's the initial diagnosis. Packers, I have like a bunch of, they're calling doctor specialists trying to check it out, because it could be maybe like they said he could play with a brace. You can play safely with a brace, but it could be a 1 to 2 week thing. It could be 4 to 5 weeks. He could be out for the year. So they're getting a bunch of guys to, to check on it and stuff. So that's a bit, because if the Packers are down Zadarius Smith on the edge, who we don't know if he'll be back for the playoffs even, and if Jair Alexander's done for the year and they have to rely on Kevin King to play the other cornerback, and they have to, they need to be at 100% for them to be a Super Bowl team. I know they have Aaron Rodgers, greatest quarterback of all time. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday today, whoop-de-doo. But we've seen this Packers team over the years. Aaron Rodgers can be the best player in the universe, in the galaxy, from far, far away. The defense has got to step up though. And I don't know with backups, Rashawn Gary's had a good start, and the pass rush, but it had a couple turnovers, but gotta keep their foot on the gas pedal, and offense is definitely playing well. And they're certainly a top team. I think they're certainly part of the Buccaneers, Rams, Cowboys. I don't want to say it, but squad of like top teams. So you don't know who the best team is. I'm probably forgetting some teams, but like you don't know who the best team is in the NFC. But they're certainly 3-1. They've won 3 straight games. They're rolling. They're rolling for sure. But speaking of the Cardinals, Rams, Arizona on their best day is clearly one of the best teams, especially offensively. I knew it when they drafted Kyler. I know Cliff Kingsbury did not have the best college record. I believed in his offensive system, especially with a great quarterback. He had Mahomes at Texas Tech, elite offense, like firepower, like rocket. I mean, unbelievable. Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, you draft Rondale Moore. Like they have great pieces. Get JJ Watt as a veteran on the other side. They're elite offensively. Defensively, I think they're above average. Again, I don't know if they're the best. Look, I don't know if they're the best team. I know they just beat the Rams, who everyone was saying was going to go to the Super Bowl. 4 games in, I don't 100% know if I trust them yet. They'll have a game in a couple weeks on a Thursday night, a couple nights before Halloween, against guess who? Okay, you're supposed to answer. The person over my right shoulder. Yes, good.
It was hidden.
Yes.
It was hidden. Sorry.
Sorry. My fat head's in the way. Like there's going to be some tests. They're going to play the Rams again. They'll play the Niners and Seahawks, obviously. We'll see. 4-0, fantastic, massive win. On a bad day, though, like they should have lost to Minnesota. They kind of, obviously Minnesota kind of effed that up. But great win for Arizona. Rams had a letdown. The Rams will be back. Like the Rams, one loss, it's a hiccup. They're a balanced team.
The Cardinals defense came to play that game. I feel like they had more want and more grit into it than the Rams did. Now the Rams definitely, I mean, they're not going to just be out there and just go through the motions, but at the same time, it almost looked like the Cardinals just wanted it a little bit more, and that's what the result was. So I think the Rams they'll learn from this. They'll bounce back. I don't see how many more games they're going to lose. Especially after this humbling game.
I agree. It's healthy. It's a healthy thing. Like when you get clapped like that, like we saw it happen to the Packers week 1, like, they're going to warm up. They'll get back to being that. I look at this NFC, man. I mean, it's like the Western Conference. The AFC, okay, you have the Chiefs and the Bills. That's like the Bucks and the Nets in the East. That's it. I mean, we have so many teams. Packers, Bucks, Rams, Cardinals. Cowboys are playing well. Who am I forgetting? I'm probably forgetting someone. It's just so top heavy. It's very deep too. But it's very interesting to see these. Again, there's so many elite teams in the NFC for sure. We go to a primetime game. Obviously the return, Buccaneers, Patriots. Can we talk about the meme of Steve Belichick?
I know what you're talking about, but his tongue was out of control. That's about all I'm going to say about it.
I'm not going to say a bunch of the comments, but it had to do with cocaine or something. I don't know. He just looked out of his mind. Some of it had to do with Urban Meyer. like it was like,
all right. Let's move on with this. I mean, I'll just jump into the game because you're being a little bit off topic here. But anyways, I feel like Brady was going to do what he was going to do. There's poor elements. Mac Jones came out to play. The
Hmm.
Patriots definitely held down the Bucks, but I don't think the Bucks defense is that good. I don't think the Patriots are. I don't think they're that good. It's just a matter of the elements played a factor. Brady did what Brady normally does. Nick Folk
Hmm.
missed the field goal. I mean, it would have left some time on the clock for Brady, but with how this game was going, I mean, the Patriots could have won this game as well,
Yeah.
um, very easily. But
Yeah.
1917 game, pretty boring. I mean, not boring, but like not as hyped as what it seemed to be.
I think that when I watched this game, I came out of it saying, I think the winners are Belichick and Mac Jones. Like, this team was ready to go. I mean, you could have made, I mean, Nick Folk's kick had the leg. The Buccaneers defense, like Mac Jones, I don't want to use the word carved up because they only put up 17 points, but when they went no huddle, man, I mean, they were going. Um, he was in rhythm. It was great. Um, Belichick had them ready. Mac Jones played well. The Patriots defense, Matthew Judon was outstanding, worth every penny. Um, Buccaneers were the best. I thought that even without Gronk, I thought the Buccaneers were going to win by at least 2 touchdowns. They did not. I know Antonio Brown had a drop. But Patriots came to play. I'm a Patriots fan. I'm excited. They have a guy in Mac Jones. He's arrived. He's the guy. Um, it was great after the game just to see, Tom seeing, Bill, Josh McDaniels. Of course, Tom talked to Bill like 20 minutes or whatever in between locker rooms. Talked to Matthew Slater, great special teamer who he's been with for a long time, all those guys. It was really great to see. So that's kind of why we love football in the end. You see these returns, you see the people come back, and there's respect. There's a big time amount of respect. Um, that's why we love football and sports in the end. So it was really great to see for sure.
Yeah,
And
I think
then
we can
you
move on to the
you
next game. I was just gonna say that I don't know what the Patriots. I mean, they can be good, but they can also not. I feel like they're gonna lose a lot of games this year, but then they're gonna build upon it for next year.
yeah, they're going to be a formidable team. I mean, it's not like you're going to go play Jacksonville. You're not going to go play any of the New York teams. Um, they it's Bill Belichick. I don't care who's the court. It's Bill Belichick. I don't care.
Yeah,
So they have if I'm a Patriots fan, I'm saying to myself, oh, we're going to miss the playoffs, whatever. You have your guy and you have your head coach for however long he wants to coach. You have that, so you're fine, and a great defense, obviously. Final game, Raiders, Chargers last night. Why is there a lightning delay when I know there's side doors or side windows. I get it. It was ridiculous. I was upset about that. But it was a great game last night, or well, towards like, Derek Carr, Darren Waller started to warm up. The offense started to get going after the terrible cold start. But look, let's not mess this up. Justin Herbert is for real. He is my outside of Aaron Rodgers. He's my favorite quarterback to watch. I said that I loved him a lot coming out of Oregon when he was drafted. I thought he was the real deal. He could do it all. Dude, he's perfect, man. He has great size. His arm strength is ridiculous. His accuracy is absurd. Dude can spin the bean. Brandon Staley is a great coach. I think he really is. The defense, Joey Bosa, Derwin James, they have some great pieces. Well coached. Obviously, Eckler is a Mack truck. Mike Williams, of course, the one time I decided to start him, he doesn't have a great game, but still, they have Mike Williams is having a great year. Keenan Allen's obviously a stud. Jared Cook I thought was a very underrated tight end. He can still get it done in his mid-30s. Maybe the best O-line in football. Corey Linsley, Rashawn Slater. They have some great pieces. Balaga, don't know if he's 100% healthy, but the Chargers have a squad. They do. And, seeing Herbert and Mahomes compete for years to come is going to be really amazing. I don't know how you feel about the Raiders. I don't think they're overrated. I don't. I just think it was, they were bound to lose at some point, obviously.
I think they are overrated.
Okay.
I feel like once Derek Carr gets pressured enough, which the Chargers did, he starts to get flustered. I feel like John Gruden's been using all of his play calls within the first 3 weeks. I'm excited the Bears have them next weekend.
Yeah.
But I think the big thing is I don't think enough people are talking about this Chargers defense as much as people are talking about their offense.
Yeah.
I mean, they have such a balanced team that's just not talked about enough that I feel like they can, if they want, they can make a run.
Yeah.
And
They're
they
electric.
can almost take top spot in that
Say it.
division,
Yeah,
like, and take over the Chiefs.
I agree. We got a team. I think literally they're electric. Like that's what Bolts are, Chargers, whatever. That's what they are. And again, I'm excited to watch them. I there's no one on that team I actively root against. I'm somewhat taking Ron Swanson's words there. But I love Herbert. I think Staley has a great job. He's doing a great job over there. And the friggin' lightning delay though. I mean, you're in a dome. Whatever. Sorry, off track. But it's a great win for the Chargers. And I kept thinking about today remember the scene in The Hangover when they're going to Vegas in the beginning of the scene and Alan is like standing up in the car, Vegas, woo, Vegas, and the little girl like flips him off. That's what I was just thinking about today. Just kind of, I don't know why, just Vegas and the LA Chargers kind of, taking it to him a little bit. I just thought that was funny. But clearly you don't think it's that funny. So it's whatever. But hey man, we're about to enter week 5. Crazy. Dude, before we know it, the season's gonna be over. It's gonna suck.
I know.
That's the hard part about football. It just goes by so quickly. It's not baseball. Hey, speaking of baseball, what time is that Red Sox Yankees game on tonight? Holy crap, what a game we have there.
I think coming up soon. It's at that game tonight.
7 or 8, probably.
If my thing will actually load up anymore. Yeah, I think it's at like 7:30 if I'm not mistaken.
I would love to see a brawl. Like the Yankees and Red Sox will probably have a thing every few years, but like Bleacher Report posted like a thread of like the greatest memories, Red Sox Yankees, the Veritek A-Rod fight. Like Aaron Boone's walk off. Okay. Yeah, like the Aaron Boone walk-off home run. I think it was the Pedro Martinez, Don Zimmerman throwdown. It was hilarious. Well, it's not funny. He's an old guy, but like it's just like hearing Joe Buck on the call. He's like, I think his name is Don Zimmerman. Don Zimmerman is a 72-year-old man, and Pedro Martinez threw him down. Like I just think that's vintage Red Sox Yankees rivalry. And I know Tim, what's his name?
Kirchman.
Tim, who's he was partners with Joe Buck. He's the Cardinals guy. With Glass, he called games on Fox, not Kirk. Maybe it's not Tim. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. I'm looking it up. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver. Tim McCarver, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
But McCarver was just like, Manny Ramirez was going off about a pitch that wasn't even close. And Joe Buck's like, well, you talk about looking for a reason to like get back at them. And McCarver's like, oh, absolutely. It's like, that's just Red Sox Yankees, good old fashioned rivalry. And I hope we get some good memories. This is going to be a great game tonight. And I know, I'd love to see the Brewers go all the way. Would be cool for the city of Milwaukee to become state of Wisconsin to become the state of champions. But we'll see. A lot of great teams, and Dodgers Cardinals should be a great. I can't believe that's a wild card game. That'll be a good one too, because the Cardinals are they on what's the winning streak at, or did they end up losing?
I don't know what the win streak was at.
Did they lose?
I don't think they lost, because they did lose to the Cubs. They did lose to the Cubs.
What can you say? No. Cubs are not very good.
I think, what was it? They were on the road to 21.
Yeah,
I know that, but they finished at like 19. I don't
it's not bad
know.
though. Not bad.
100%.
And that's what you want to be at when you're heading into October. How can you not be romantic about baseball and football? Both of them. I might go watch Moneyball. Who knows? That's probably it for the show here. I'm gonna go eat some broccoli cheddar soup because it's really freaking good. You gonna go watch baseball? Go make yourself some dinner.
Gonna go make some burgers and then watch baseball at 8
Tailgate
o'clock.
or are you putting the cheese on?
I'm gonna put the cheese on.
You're one of the cheese people. Like you put cheese manual or like you put cheese on. Okay, you're one of those people. All right, I'm kidding.
So, like I cook up the burgers and then I grill up the burgers and then like the last like 20 seconds I'll put the cheese on and then you just.
No, I do that. I do that too. Like we've gotten some like for the 4th of July and stuff. We got some great tailgate burgers from Sendix. It's a Wisconsin thing, or I don't know if there's a Sendix in Iowa. I don't know, but there's a Sendix in Wisconsin. But like great tailgate burgers, just the cheddar cheese, little dots of it inside the burger. It's amazing. But yeah, I'm definitely not opposed to throwing cheddar or goat cheese or obviously American cheese on it. Whatever you're gonna throw on there, do it. Are you a pea salad person? Yeah, have you ever had pea
What?
salad? Are you a pea salad
No.
person? Oh my gosh, dude. You've never had it?
No.
Dude, get some peas. Obviously, that's the key ingredient, the peas. Mix it with cream cheese and mayonnaise with the peas. Dude, I'm telling you, like it throw in some bacon bits as well. You won't be disappointed. It's not bad. Peas alone. Peas alone are disgusting. Trust me. This is like a pea salad.
I don't mind peas alone. I'm one of those weird people. I don't mind peas alone.
Yeah, you are really freaking weird. No, pea salad belongs with like it's like watermelon and corn on the 4th of July. Like I truly believe that. We have it all the time. Very good. Give it a look. Give it a taste. But hey, man, on week 5, October's here. Baseball.
Make our picks tomorrow.
Yeah, we got that one like that 1 week in late October where it's like all sports are back too. A couple of days, whatever. Great stuff. I'll let you go though. Let's go watch some baseball.